Yo, what's up guys, Aiden here. So today in this video, I'm going to show you how I made $1,400 trading stocks. I traded SBET, S-B-E-T, and I traded it as a day 3 surge. So a day 3 surge is a type of first green day bounce. So if you don't know what a first green day bounce is, please go and watch the video linked in the description below. Let's jump straight into it. All right, so straight into it. So today I traded SBET, S-B-E-T. So the cool thing about this is that I've just had a week off. I've been in Malta for a week. I had a holiday, and today is my first day back. And within the space of an hour or two, I've more than paid for my holiday, so that was pretty cool. The stock is still pushing to new highs, and I don't have any YOLO shares left on, even though I did draw on this line as my ultimate profit target. But I was a lot more patient with this than I normally am, so I can't be too hard on myself there. So SBET, S-B-E-T, now I traded this as a third day surge. Now, a third day surge is a type of first green day bounce, but my understanding of the difference is that it's, one, has to happen on the third day, and two, it can't give back more than 50% of its gains. I'm not entirely sure if that's the correct definition, and yeah, basically, I just know it's a third day surge by looking at the chart. I can just tell it's a third day surge. I don't know what the exact criteria is, so take what I've said with a pinch of salt. So with third day surges / first green days, one of the defining characteristics of that is a liquidity trap. So we can see here on the big day one move, you could argue that this was day one and this is day two, but for the sake of this video, I'm just calling this day one. Let me get rid of these lines and I'll show you why I drew them on momentarily. So the day one move here, massive volume. It's pretty big. There's quite a lot of dollar volume considering how highly priced the stock is. So there's 54 million shares traded there, and then only 2 million on day two. So a massive drop off in volume. So again, I've mentioned this in many videos. Shorts are sizing in on this day according to liquidity, and then when the liquidity drops the next day, they can't get out of their position without affecting the price of the stock and pushing it higher. So jumping to the intraday chart, we can see here that from its highs to its pullback on day two, this is just under a 50% move. And so at this point, although the stock only finished down 18% on the day, it is down, like I say, almost 50% off its highs. So the possibility of a bounce is definitely there. And although this was, I guess this was a 2-day runner, but although, this had only really had a massive 1-day move, it was up. It did finish up, I think, what was it? 433% up at its height. I'm not sure how much that was up, but this is definitely going to have eyes on it. So yeah, it does qualify for a first green day for sure. So we can see here on day two, it double bottoms and it kind of sets a base to risk off basically. So for a third day surge, I want to risk off these levels here. Now red green on this particular day was $29.16, so about there. So it's always a little bit tricky in my opinion when red green is involved and there's lower day involved in terms of what level to risk off. However, in my opinion, it's better to risk off the low of the day, the ultimate low, because if red green breaks and the previous low of the day holds, then you risk getting shaken out, because really this low can hold and your thesis is still intact. So I was just watching it through all this illiquid action, and I could see that red. So I took a piece at 29.50 and I was risking off the previous day's low of day. However, the size was quite small. It needed to be, because that's a 7% risk plus slippage. So I don't know what, 10-12% maybe it was, depending on the liquidity. The spread was a little bit wider than I would have liked. So here when the market opened, I could kind of see that, you know what, I think it's going to hold red green. So I started to take a couple more, a few more shares. And what I decided to do, because I didn't want to risk it all off this level, I decided that I was going to risk my initial position off this level, and the rest of the position that I added, I was going to risk off red green. Now that is a little bit fiddly, and I probably wouldn't advise other people to do that, because it just gets a bit messy. But it was clear in my mind what I intended to do, and so that's what I did. So in regards to sells, I kind of had this level as a significant level for profit targets, and I thought there's a chance that it could retest the previous high of the day one move. I did sort of take off a few pieces here, and then, to be honest, another piece here, and my best sell was actually $42. So pretty pleased with that, to be honest with you. That's a lot more patient than I would normally be, even though it was only sort of half an hour, 45 minutes. But yeah, that's definitely an improvement for me. So I'm pretty pleased with that. The one thing I'm a little bit unsure about is at what point. So I am working on my patience, like I say, but at what point do I think that, okay, this is now backside? Because here this is doing higher highs and higher lows, so I can see it's front side of a possible likely backside move, but at this point it makes a lower high and then a lower low. So there's a chance there that even if I was saying, okay, I'm waiting until this indicates a trend change, then I probably would have got stopped out here and missed this move. So I'm not quite sure what to do about that, really. It is only like YOLO shares, really, I would tend to have on at this point, to be honest with you. Anything past here, it's YOLO shares for me at this moment in time, at least. So yeah, I'm unsure about how to manage that, to set a correct risk level for the remainder of my shares. So that's something I'll continue to monitor, I guess, because I don't want to risk getting shaken out and missing sort of what potentially could be a retest of the previous high day, or even a breakout. So, but yeah, overall, pretty pleased with how I traded that. I made 1,470, and then I gave $50 back on PTIX. This was a speculative trade. I don't really like how it's set up. Possible first green day, so day one move, and then just a nice retrace. Well, I say a nice retracement, an awful retracement, because it's tried to have various green days. But what I took small size. I can forgive myself for taking this trade. I probably wouldn't advise people to take it, but what I did kind of identify was this sort of trend line that it kind of had been holding and then broke. And then I just thought, you know what, this could have a grind up over several days. And I still think it might. I still think the risk reward is there. I bought it at $4 and I just sold it at $3.90. I just thought, you know what, I don't want to give back the gains that I've made of the day. So yeah, I didn't really stick to my risk level there, but yeah, it's all good. I'm going to keep an eye on that and just see, if my thesis was correct or not. But like on this one, it's very, very, very speculative. Wasn't the strongest day one move. Has had to try to have various first green days, and the volume is just completely dried up. So yeah, not one that I had massive conviction in. But I did like the break of trend and the fact that I took small size. All right, cool. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope there was some value in it for you. Any questions, put them in the comments, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers. Bye.